So do you feel like you received what you were looking for at the conference?
Absolutely, I definitely did.
Hi, my name is Keisha Wilkerson, and I am the Wisconsin State Director, and this is Post on Campus. We have an awesome blog for you all for this month. We had the privilege to go to the Impact Regional Conference in Indianapolis, Indiana. We got back about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and God moved and transformed hearts and minds of many students. And so I thought the blog for this month should be focused around a couple students that are in Wisconsin that got the privilege to attend this conference. And so I have two ladies with me that I will allow them to introduce themselves so that you can get to know them better. And then you'll get to hear about their experience and what God did for them while they're there. So I want, how about you, Grace? You start off, introduce yourself, let everybody know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so my name is Grace Fox. I am currently sophomore, junior, attending University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Was that it? So like introduce.
What's your major? Yeah.
Major is communication.
Awesome. And how long have you been involved with Impact?
We're just gonna say since they started on the campus, like beginning of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. And Nia?
Hi, my name is Nia Mooney. I am a junior at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. My major is psychology, and I have been involved with Impact since technically my freshman year, because that's when my friend at the time forced me to go to a meeting.
I appreciate those friends that force you to do stuff that's good for you. I have a story about that. I'll tell you about that later, Nia. I don't know if I ever told you, but I'll tell you about my story about being forced to go to a ministry. Well, thank you two so much for your willingness to join and share about your experience. I want to first hear from you both about why you decided to go to the conference. Like, what convinced you and said, you know what, I feel like this is where I should go and spend a part of my winter break?
I can start. So for me, once I heard about it, I'm like, I have to go, because I know it's going to be, well, I've never been to a conference or anything like that. And obviously the pandemic and stuff, I think it was virtual, but I don't even remember. But yeah, I was like, it's in person now. I have to go. I knew it was going to be young people there. And I felt like it was going to be good for me spiritually, because usually when I go to conferences and stuff, like I just feel like this fire on the inside of me, and I'm like, yes, I'm ready to save. Well, not me. I'm ready for God to save everybody I meet. So yeah.
I decided to go just because last semester was like probably one of the toughest semesters for me. It was just hard to kind of like stay connected to God in that sense. And when I decided to go, I was like looking for God to do something. I was like, God, like I need you. I need to like feel your presence again, like I have previously in my life. So I just went expecting something that God was gonna do in my life.
Mm, that's good. I mean, those are really good reasons to go to a conference. I feel a lot of times that Christian conferences, a lot of times, can allow you an escape from real life and kind of put you in this like little, I don't even know what to call it, like this safety place to just encounter God. And
Holy bubble.
yeah, holy bubble. I like that. Let's say encounter Jesus and be around other believers that can encourage you as well. And so when you are having a difficult time or you feel like you need that, it's always nice to be able to have a space like a conference to rebuild you, to prepare to launch you back out to do the things that the Lord calls you to do. So it's really exciting to hear that you felt safe enough to enter into an impact space and felt like they can provide that for you. And so do you feel like you received what you were looking for at the conference?
Absolutely. I definitely did. It was really nice to just kind of like reconnecting. Feel God's presence. Like again.
Yeah. What about you, Nia?
Um, I don't know really what I was expecting from God. I was just like, I'm going. But once I got there, I do go to my church. It's called Appleton Sanctuary and it's virtual. Um, since it's in Appleton and I don't live in Appleton. So I'm a virtual member and I definitely miss like the in-person worship.
Mhm.
So I really, really enjoyed the worship experience there. And I feel like God taught me a lot just being there about like trusting him and trusting him at his word. Like when he tells me something, he's gonna do it. And even if he doesn't do it in the time I thought, he's still going to exceed my expectations. So
Mm.
he was still teaching me, even at the conference.
Yes, that's good. That's good. So what was one of the most memorable moments at the conference for you?
I can go. One of the most memorable moments was when I was in the prayer room. I was just allowing like God to speak to me and like show me what he was trying to say. And he gave me a vision of like walls, like brick walls just melting down. Because I feel like a lot of times I have my walls up a lot of times, like towards people. And in turn, like I do that as well to God. Like I have my walls up because I don't feel like worthy enough to go to him. So he just like showed me like he can like bring down those walls. So that was probably like the most amazing thing like God showed me while I was there.
You know, y'all, that prayer room at the conference was amazing. Just a big thank you to Donna and Darnell Robinson. They run the Milwaukee House of Prayer. So they're actually from Milwaukee, y'all. So when you're in Milwaukee, go to the House of Prayer. But they set up this prayer room that was absolutely amazing. You walk into the room and it just felt like the presence of God was there in a hotel room, not in a hotel like sleeping room, but like one of their conference rooms, and it was just amazing. They went above and beyond our expectations for a space of prayer for students, and so I'm so happy to hear that it was a place where you're able to encounter Jesus and hear from him clearly.
I think for me, it was after we counted down, we was praising God into the new year. We had the little sneaker party thing, and then me and Grace went up to our room, and I just felt so much joy, and I was just like so excited. I like jumped on Grace's bed, and then we were just talking and stuff like that, and just feeling so much joy and feeling really excited for the new year. And then literally for like 45 minutes, me and Grace just talked about how good God was and just our goals for the new year for ourselves spiritually and other areas of our lives and stuff like that. So just knowing like, wow, that is the best way to go into the new year is praising God.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, could you share a little bit more about like exactly what happened as we were like what did we do for entering into the new year?
So we were all in a room and what was he doing? It was like worship. We was worshiping, and then once it was getting closer to midnight, I don't know what her name was. I want to call her Kayla, but I'm not sure if that was her name. Do you know her name? The one who led us in prayer?
Yeah, it was Adriana.
Oh, I was way off. Adriana. And we started praying. It was like 5 minutes till midnight. We started praying and she was just giving us prompts and stuff to pray. And she was praying, and then New Year happened, and then they, just start hitting the drums and stuff. And we just started worshiping, and people were still praying, and people was dancing and all this other stuff. So it was great.
And then we end with the party.
Yep. We ended with the party.
A family party. Didn't it feel like
Mhm.
you were at like a family reunion?
Yeah, it was fun. It
Yeah,
was
that's awesome. All right, let me see. What was the next question I have for you? Um, what's one thing you learned at the conference?
I learned that God can use people like me because I feel like last semester I felt like really lost. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I changed my major just because I felt so just like lost. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I feel like God was saying like even He has plans for me in my life, and just to like trust Him through that. Because like, He can use me even when I feel like I can't be used. Like He can definitely show me His will for me.
Yeah.
I learned is to trust God no matter what. So yeah, that was it.
Just to give a context of like, oh, where did you learn this from? The theme of the conference was what was it? Reemerge, a movement from the margins. And so the goal of this time was really for students to realize that God will use them. People that are marginalized, people who are can sometimes be seen as outcasts or not good enough, or they might see themselves as not good enough to be used by God. So the big goal was to really help students to see like God will use you. And in fact, He may be more likely to use you because you come from the margins. And so it just makes me so happy that that was something that that in some way or form that you both learned through the conference. It means that we reached our goal, our desired outcomes for the conference. So that makes me really happy. Um, so last question. What is something you want to say to those who helped fund our trip to Indianapolis, to this conference? We have funding in different ways. We had a church partner give a lump sum gift at the beginning of December to help pay for the cost, as well as those who give monthly and have given for impact for last year, for our funding for the state during last year. All those who were a part of giving their funds, some of their funds went towards this conference and getting you all scholarships, getting you a free bus ride to the conference. And so I would love to hear, like, what do you want to say to those who sacrifice their personal funds to see that you can make it to this conference?
First of all, obviously, a big thank you for the bottom of my heart. Like those, like using those funds, like it did not go in vain because that trip was an amazing, like eye-opening experience for me, just to like reconnect with God and just be able to feel His presence again. So it definitely was not a waste. Yeah, like and my bags are already packed for next year. I'm already ready, like for sure. I'm so excited to go next year. So
I would say thank you so much. It was an experience that I'll never forget, to the prayer room, to feeling God's presence, to just knowing now that I have something else in common with Jesus and stuff. Like, it just was something that I'll never forget. And I'm just so grateful that money isn't something that was holding me back from attending. I know that's a really huge obstacle for a lot of people. So knowing that we have resources and stuff like that to support us is a lot of stress was reduced. And even paying for the bus, I'm like, all this money that I have is for my parents. I don't know if they gonna want to give me $20 more. So like just a free bus ride. I'm like, whew, okay, I don't gotta worry about that. Like, we were able to come into that conference, like, not have to worry about nothing. Like, this is just about God. So yeah, I really appreciated it.
Yes, and I want to third their their responses, and thank you so much for allowing space in your income and your funds to be able to give to impact. There's a lot of ways that those funds go to help our students in ways that they don't even know. helps and support that help and support them. And so I want to say as well, thank you so much for your continued support of our work here in Wisconsin. Thank you so much for joining us on Post on Campus. If you would like to learn more about the work that we're doing in Wisconsin, you can go to impactingwisconsin.org to give. You can go to impactingwisconsin.org/give. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. Bye.